Hello everybody, David Shuster here on Capitol Hill. We just got more proof that Georgia Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene is never going to be able to erase the stain she created with some of her lunatic conspiracy theories. During a House oversight hearing, lawmakers in both parties praised the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, for firing the worker who said homes displaying Donald Trump signs should be avoided during hurricane relief. Democrat Jared Moskowitz said such politicization of FEMA at any level is unacceptable. But he said that includes lawmakers who lie about FEMA and other agencies.
It is so important that we don't allow FEMA to become politicized and that we don't allow disaster aid to become politicized. Laser beams do not start fires in California. We cannot guide where hurricanes go. And you know what? You know who's amplifying that stuff? Foreign accounts. Other countries are amplifying that stuff on social media to divide us, to divide Democrats and Republicans. They want us fighting over disaster aid.
It was just this past year when Marjorie Taylor Greene said the government can guide where hurricanes go. A few years ago, Greene wrote on Facebook that a Jewish family used space lasers to start the California wildfires. Both claims are absolute nonsense, but there are some MAGA followers who think Greene is onto something and are convinced that Democrats are using disasters to hurt Republicans. And that kind of division does benefit America's foreign adversaries. By most accounts, America's enemies are thrilled with the latest being written and said by Marjorie Taylor Greene. She is doubling down on her calls for a national divorce between Democratic states and Republican states. She writes, with Democratic governors threatening the upcoming Trump administration's mandate by the American people to secure our borders and deport illegal invaders, gut and cut the federal government of corruption, waste, and stifling the regulations in order to reduce inflation and build an America-first economy, and to stop the mentally ill and predatory trans agenda against our kids and women's sports, I'm still in favor of a national divorce if need be. Well, first of all, Trump did not get a mandate. He got less than 50% of the popular vote. And the election results were relatively close compared to most presidential elections. Secondly, Democrats embraced a Republican bill this past year to strengthen border security. But Republicans, under orders from Donald Trump, who didn't want to give Democrats a political victory in an election year, killed the bill. Thirdly, America's economy has never been bigger and more productive. And the fact is, working wages during the Biden administration grew more than inflation. That means Americans have more buying power now than they did 4 years ago. But facts do not matter to Marjorie Taylor Greene, other MAGA lawmakers, and conservative media. And hyperbolic crap is Greene's way of being. On a recent Steve Bannon podcast, Greene doubled down on painting the outgoing Biden administration, as well as the entire Democratic Party, as the enemy.
But everybody's playing nice now, pretending.
Playing the game.
That's a face. This is a cover. Behind the scenes, these people are plotting war against us like never before. Do you think Democrats are going to go, oh, good game, guys, shake hands, good game, we'll get you again and we'll come back after you in 4 more years? We know our enemy. We've been fighting them for too many years. We know exactly who these people are.
We know exactly who these Democrats are, says the lawmaker who thinks space lasers start wildfires and the government controls the weather. Greene's ignorance and delusions are off the charts, and so is her screechy, unhinged rhetoric. Greene believes that the President of the United States and the majority party in Congress have no obligation whatsoever to America as a whole, and should instead carry out a scorched earth policy of only caring about the wishes of Republicans. And here is Greene's advice to Trump political appointees who are going to be placed in various government agencies that conservatives want to destroy.
You don't let off the gas. You push that gas pedal down harder. I'm not kidding. It's pedal to the metal and go. And we go in every single agency and we are going to gut them and rip them to shreds. There is no apologies. There is no reset. There is no unity. There's no unity because they don't want unity with us. They don't agree with this unity. They are lying. Right now they're trying to figure out, they're gaming out what they're going to do, but they're embedding their people in as tight as they can. As tight as they can, while they're trying to be like, play a little nicey nice to people like me, like, oh, hey Marjorie. I'm like, why are you saying hey to me? You've never talked to me before ever in your life.
And that's because you are arguably crazy. The reason some people may be polite now is because the election is over, and a lot of Democrats, even in defeat, are still polite and gracious. Greene is convinced Democrats are embedding activists throughout the government to try and block conservative policy. policies. And naturally, when the MAGA policies fail or don't come together, Greene and others will blame Democrats instead of looking at the people Trump put in charge of government agencies. When you nominate a Secretary of Defense who has no experience managing anything, never mind an organization as large as the Pentagon, don't be surprised when the military's bureaucracy beats you and keeps things the same. When you nominate an education secretary with no experience in education, don't be surprised when the existing education bureaucracy wins. It's the same thing in Health and Human Services, National Intelligence, and FEMA. Donald Trump is nominating inexperienced nitwits to be in charge, and that's great for everybody who wants to protect these government agencies. Because for all the fire and brimstone at the top, effecting change in a large organization requires skills and experience. Of course, that is too difficult for Marjorie Taylor Greene to grasp, so she's going to continue to embrace conspiracy theories about the deep state to explain the government agency roadblocks that she and other conservatives smash into. But that's okay. Marge is never going to change. And thankfully, even most Republicans are dismissing Marjorie Taylor Greene's calls for a national divorce. The GOP is going to let Greene continue to grab headlines with her fiery rhetoric and unhinged proposals, but it seems Greene's actual power and influence in government will be limited. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene seems to recognize that, and so she is flipping out even more. What a show. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.